Well, right, guys, we are back on the show. I've got a guest with me, and we're going to find out what Ryan's been up to this season. So, but how's the season been? You've had a couple of interesting hunts. We
Can
finished
I
up.
swear on your channel?
Yeah, I might have to use a squeaky toy every now and then, but that's okay because we've just come back from, or not just come back, but we've had an epic hunt in the Karoo with Mr. Nick Davenport himself again. That was an awesome hunt. You can share everyone your experience, because obviously I've done the podcast on how my hunt went, but definitely you had some other interesting hunts prior to that. You had a cracker of a season starting off with your fella deer. And from there you can let everyone know how it's been going.
No, look, I mean, it hasn't been all doom and gloom, like I say, can I swear on the channel, but it hasn't been my best season. We've had I obviously did the solo warthog hunts that were really, really good. Rifles outperformed fat and unfit, but the fitness has improved through the season. Fallow deer hunt, and that went down really, really well. And then obviously a couple hunts with my brother-in-laws. We had our first annual what we call driven hunt, Burusha hunt with a kudu. Plenty was shot, but not by me. Lots of missed shots, not understanding what's going on. Anyway, boiled it off to a bad weekend, bought other people's animals and went to process them. Licked my wounds, carried on. Then had another hunt a month later with my other brother-in-law, new area. Also, it was, we were paying kg prices for animals, but also quite a variety. Kudu, mountain redbuck, warthog, fallow deer, waterbuck, springbuck, were all on the cards. But a very different hunting experience. I obviously thought it was going to be more of a walk and stalk, and big group of us, about 8 of us went out. Was 3 days of hunting, and we were actually put out in areas, so it was almost like if you were sitting in a blind situation. They drop you there for a couple hours, nothing's happening, pick you up, move you to the next place, and that's how that hunt went. Came home yet again with a empty vehicle, Papa last, and that's about it.
And paying a hello and goodbye.
Then that doesn't go down too well with me, because at the end of the day I need to pay for these hunts. So it was one of those hunts again. But something different, also very different area. I've hunted the area before, the Tarkastad area, but obviously just the way the hunting was set up. Everybody else shot. I just was the unlucky fellow.
You didn't get to see anything.
I saw animals, but nothing that was on the cards for me. I saw 1 or 2 mountain redbuck and saw pigs and that kind of stuff. But
missing sitter of a shot. Don't hide from that one.
Anyway, so that was that, and then obviously I booked a hunt with phoned my cousin where I normally do all my warthog hunting, and I try and do 2 hunts a year there with him. Managed to get in there, and that turned into invite my brother to come and shoot warthogs, and my dad came along, our dad came along, and then a friend was joining later. And Ryan did the sneak and went and shot a kudu bull. In not an easy place, but
I get the invite. Please come help me shoot warthogs, because I've got a massive meat order for somebody, and I haven't got enough meat to process. So let's go shoot warthogs. Needless to say, this man goes and shoots a kudu bull in the deepest of valleys on the farm, where he could have shot it half an hour earlier in an easy spot. He just decided to follow it right over into the next valley, shoots it there, and then makes us carry it out all morning.
That's it. So anyway, we did that, and in the process of this, the rifle I took to hunt at the driven hunt, I'd given to Wayne to please build a load, because it was my 303 that I normally hunt pigs with. It shot well. I've shot probably about 15 warthogs with it this season. Haven't had any issues with it. gave it to Wayne to build the loads because I said I'd like to take it on the springbuck hunt in August. And he found that the bases were loose and whatever. So obviously something had happened in between that. 2 weeks before the kudu hunt, I'd shot, I think, 4 pigs with it.
Shooting really well.
Really well. Obviously, somewhere along the line between my vehicle and packing it away, something had come loose. Yeah. Thought we'd solved that issue of the rifle. Got the rifle on when I shot the kudu with my 3006, put the 3006 away, took the 303, shot a bunch of warthogs with it. I said, no, it's good to go for the springbuck hunt.
Yeah. So Ryan's rifle came to me and he said, I must check it all out. I took it to the range, shot a few shots, and man, it was just spray painting everywhere. And it was very unusual for it to be shooting like that. And eventually I was like, what the hell's going on here? The base plate on the whole rifle was literally teetotaling this way and that way and that way. So we managed to tighten that all up, get it all locked out. I built an awesome load for it with a 125 grain Sierra bullet, ready for our springbuck hunt. And then springbuck hunt didn't start too well.
Damn, it's just been one of those. So yeah, the springbuck hunt's always a stressful one because it's a new place. We did it last year.
Yeah.
Hell of a nice group of guys. And it's just one of those hunts to try and get the number of people to join. That everybody wants to go and then
last minute they don't want to go.
And it's always a thing. So yeah, stress comes into play and whatever the case may be. Means we also had 1 or 2 friends, unfortunately, family issues. They couldn't make it at the last minute. So yeah, we were down 1 gun, and I managed to take a young guy with old Daniel. So he didn't have a rifle, so I gave him my old faithful 243 to go and shoot springbuck. So he had a jaw.
Old man was shooting it out in a hurry. He was like tagging out quickly.
So it was the joke. I was always telling him, the poor bugger, hey, you're only allowed to shoot 2 in this camp, and you're only allowed to shoot so many.
In that one, you had to limit him.
And then the bugger has to call him on the radio and say, hey, Dan, what have you shot? 1 over quota. So he was having a good time. And yeah, I don't know, something had happened yet again with my 303. Started the hunt, missed the first shot, just boiled it down to typical.
So what normally happens, guys, when we get to the hunt, we're all supposed to go to the range, obviously check rifles.
Yeah.
We all arrived there and it was absolute gale force wind. Like gale force wind. So most of us have shot our rifles at home. I'd recently just done that rifle.
I shot the rifle 2 weeks before.
2 weeks before. Everything was fine. And typical, we didn't check rifles in the morning.
Yeah.
Some of us shot well. I started off with a bang. I was freaking, snipering it there. I was having a cracker of a hunt. And then, yours just didn't work out that well.
Yeah, look, I mean, it happens. You excited on the day out and, started with nothing out of the ordinary. I wasn't planning on being sniper, which I knew I could be sniper with it. But also I had a different set of shooting sticks in the day. So generally used to my tripod, swivel top, can dance around, shoot wherever, they're moving. Tried these dead hold sticks, thinking for more of a dead rest aspect. Got irritated with them very quickly and then tossed them and went to belly flapping with the sandbag and over my bag to try and get some shots in. And it was one of those, missed a sitter, like 150 meters, and I'm shooting for the gearbox, broadside animal.
Yeah.
Thought, just excitement, laughed that first shot off. Second one came around, same situation, but maybe a little bit further. I was like, missed that. I'm like, no man, there's no wind. Can't understand what's going on. The third group came past me and I think I ranged it at like 160 meters.
Yeah.
Quartering towards me, I said, I'm going to knock it on the point of the shoulder. Bullet's going to fly through. And this one I did hit, but obviously low, and it took out the back leg of the animal.
Yeah.
So had that, stopped the whole hunt. Everyone watched it. Everybody stopped. managed to sneak up on the animal within 20 meters, finished it off.
You first missed it.
I did miss it. I missed its head. It was lying down. And then
Yeah.
I'll shoot at the biggest part of it, hit the body at 20 meters. I thought,
Yeah.
oh, well, shot, don't know what's happened.
Going on, yeah.
Went back to my position, and yet again, next group of springbuck come around.
Mm.
They stop at like 50 meters away from me.
Yeah.
Aim for a neck shot
Yeah.
and took the whole jaw of an animal out. So there and then I went, okay, I'm done with
There's
life.
something wrong.
There's something wrong. Bad start to a springbuck hunt.
Yeah.
Rifle definitely not shooting where I'm aiming. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
So stopped there with the rifle. Luckily, one of the other guys, the springbuck went past him and he managed to shoot
yeah.
the springbuck for me. Then I kind of moved positions, went to Dan. He wasn't far from me with my 243. He already had shot like 4 springbuck.
Yeah.
He said, "No, go around, sit here. These springbuck are coming past. It's like a honey hole. You should have sat here this morning." I said,
Yeah.
"You wouldn't have helped
Melt
anyway.
You weren't
I couldn't
eating
hit the
anything.
broadside of a bar door. We would have been looking for more wounded animals than anything else." And obviously springbuck came past. But this bloody lighty doesn't tell me how far he's shooting.
Yeah.
Because I get there, he says, "No, I'm shooting them here going along the fence, and I shot one there and I shot one there, and I look at all the animals that this oak shot, but everything shot in the head and shot in the neck, and like, okay." So me, now, bunch of springbuck come past, I ranged it, I think it was like 290 or something
Yeah.
like that, and I'm like, what on earth? The thing looks
And then he still says, "Man, we need to check the rifle. I think it's shooting a little low."
Yeah. So I'm like, I look through the rifle. I mean, I haven't got a massive scope on. It's a 4x16 by 44. So I mean, I can zoom it in really well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got mil dots, and I can
Yeah.
tune it for whatever. I'm like, and I know it shoots really well. So also shooting a bit of a heavier bullet, 100 grain bullet, because I
Yeah.
use it for shooting pigs, and I shoot a few kudus with it and stuff. And flip it, I aim on the springbuck, and I'm like, that is far.
Yeah.
So I aim across the top of its back, and I eventually shoot one springbuck. But
Yeah.
also it took 2 shots to shoot it, because I shot it low and thinking, well, there's something. Meanwhile, checking the range,
oak
it's
shooting.
300 meters away.
Yeah.
So,
So guys in the Karoo, for those who have joined us here, it's a very different terrain to what we are accustomed to hunting in. We hunt in thick coastal bush, couple of mountains or hills here with thick speckworm as you move further in, and then the Karoo is very open and very flat. So the distance is very deceiving. And also you're very sparse with vegetation, so there's not much to gauge distance on. So there's not a tree that you can go, okay, well, that tree is 5 foot tall and my springbuck standing next to it looks like a tick, or it actually looks like a springbuck. So you can't gauge distance easily. You got to take a lot of practice
well, that's it. Yeah, you've got to shoot enough in the area to actually
gauge. Yeah.
to know what's going on.
So guys often are shooting a lot further without realizing it, and sometimes shots don't go quite to where they're planning, and they're shooting low, and then all of a sudden the rifles,
meanwhile, you rifle zeroed at 100 meters or 200, and you pushing it
now
out.
all of a sudden it's dropping.
Yeah, you thinking you're shooting 150 and you're already at 250.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference.
Makes a big difference. So, like for springbuck culls, definitely the faster flatting shooting rounds
Rifles.
are better. So if you actually looked in our hunting party, the guys who were shooting really, really well, and getting away with the longer shots and stuff like that, we had Warren with his 270,
Yeah.
and that bullet
That hops.
freaking sends it. It's a 140 grain bullet, I think.
Yeah, 140 grand.
and he was doing extremely well. Dan with the
243.
243, 100 grainer shooting flat. My 3006 actually shooting far and flat. And then you had De Wet, who was struggling a little bit with his 3006, and I think he's shooting 180 grains.
I think you're.
And he was struggling a bit with that. But I've chatted to him now recently. I want to try and help him build a load, a 165 grain load. It'll be quite nice for that 3006 of his. And then you were just not shooting well. And then
the rifle.
Fricky wasn't doing too bad with his 308. The first...
He just needed the springbuck to stop in the right place.
Right place, yeah. In his 308, he wasn't doing too badly, because in the first hunt, like Pete, he was also not having such a
Look, I mean, those
a lucky
Springbok
time,
run, and
those-
they don't stop in your arc, your shooting arc, and they're just out of the area. They could be in shooting range, but at the end
Yeah,
of the
they're
day, if
just
they
not
don't
in your
stop
zone.
in your zone, you
Yeah.
can't shoot.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's also very important in those things. There's so many times Springbok have stopped
I-
50 meters away or 100
I had them
meters
10,
away.
10
and they-
yards standing behind me.
I mean, I had them run clean over the top of me, you
Yeah.
know, and go behind, and then stop behind me where I wasn't allowed to shoot, you
Shoot,
know,
yeah.
at 20 meters.
So also again, the guys who've joined us and who haven't watched the previous Springbok hunt that I've shared on the YouTube channel, and then obviously I've shared my hunt in the podcast. The farmers do a really great job of setting guys out safely. So none of us shoot towards each other. And quite interesting, like in this first beat, we were all kind of back to back.
Yes.
There was an alley down the middle of this whole area where no one was shooting, was a dead zone. So often the Springbok ran and stood in there, and they kind of settled, started grazing, and then they trotted along and trot off
And then
again.
obviously the beaters moved them
And the
there,
beaters
out there.
moved
They just
through
walked
there.
towards them and pushed them.
And we were shooting in our arcs, which the farmer will tell you between that tree and that tree you shoot. If it goes beyond that, you don't shoot. You know what I mean? Which is really, really good because of safety. Once you squeeze the trigger, guys, you can't wish that bullet back by any means.
No, not at all.
So it's very, very well set up. And if you haven't watched it, go watch the video, and there's a lot more feedback in there, and there's some awesome clips that we tried amongst our amateur recording between the group of us to try and put that video together.
I blame the videographer with my camera.
Sorry, camera was completely sideways in the GoPro holder. I messed that up early in the morning.
Yeah, well, when you don't know the tools, you just might try. You try and be professional as
Yeah.
you can.
So obviously the hunt was that first portion, and then by midday we went back to have something to eat, and then we decided to hit the range and see what was going on.
Well, definitely I felt there was something wrong. I was very close to packing it up and just taking my faithful 3006 out the bag and going, right, let's go hunting, because I know that shoots really well. It's my rifle that never is out in any day unless I've fallen down a mountain with it, kind of thing. So yeah, we had a bit of time. Nick said, guys, whoever wants to check, go check. And that's one thing also. If you feel that there's something wrong, rather
Go with
stop,
your gut, yeah.
rather stop and go and suss it out and see if you can find something. You know, rather go and shoot a piece of paper and go, okay, well, I was a real cock up there.
Yeah.
You know, and I made a total botch of this hunt. Calm down. Change
your
change
stuff
the
together,
stuff,
yeah.
you know. So I had a number of things. Like, it was shooting sticks was something new to me that I tried, and it was like not working for me. The rifle, I was not quite. There was something that was bugging me. That I could say definitely after the last shot I pulled, and I mean I was.
You didn't even hit where you were aiming.
I was pretty much, I don't know, probably nearly 6 inches to the left, and it was 2 inches high.
Yeah.
Of where I actually aimed at the animal, you know. So which we did eventually when we got
found
to the,
got
got to the
so
range.
we headed to the range, and obviously I was the last person to zero it. So I said to Ryan, well, let's take you out the equation just in case now that you're either flinching or pulling your shots or in a hurry. Give it to me. If it's not printing where I left it to print, where it was shooting bullet through bullet to the same damn hole at 100 meters, and I was doing 5-shot groups with it, then there's something wrong here. I laid down, I squeezed off my first shot, and I was like, that is way higher. You know, it should have been.
Left it,
We'd left it an inch high at 100 on those 125s.
Yes.
That's what we had set it up for. Inch and a half high, because those bullets are zipping. And I fired the second shot, and the bullet, literally, they were touching each other. And we were like, okay, 2 shots, way left. Way high. Let's bring it back to zero again. And brought it back to zero quite quickly. 2 shots later.
Couldn't find what. The only thing that I had done with the rifle, which I've done every other time, silencer off into the safe, took it out, cleaned, put the silencer back on. So, I can't explain what happened there. We couldn't find anything. We thought maybe there was a base loose again, or
everything was tight, rock
everything
solid.
was 100% tight. sorted that out, went out that afternoon, chucked the
Game changer.
chucked the new shooting sticks away, went back to old faithful sticks, and I shot 3 springbuck, 3 shots, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
So going back to the shooting sticks, guys. So normally you have the good old fashioned tripod stick with a swivel head. That's what we've
all grown
up shooting with. That's what I've guided with for years as well. Until my last hunt with Tim, I was walking along and the damn leg broke off. So I also went and bought myself a pair of these. There's so many brands. Mine's a Ram one where it's your stable stick. So they fold apart, forend and butt gets held. They are awesome if you are shooting straight in front of you, shot for shot.
That's great.
If you have to try and maneuver yourself to swivel and you by yourself and there's no one actually lifting it to turn it, it's a freaking pain in the ass. So I found that out extremely difficult because it was the first time I was hunting with mine.
Yeah. Guarding is a different story because you can move it for the person hunting.
As the guard, you will lift it and turn it and set the client back up again. But if you are actually physically moving that shit yourself, first shot you better knock it down dead, because second shot you might as well lift your rifle up and freehand it. Because to try and swivel those damn sticks, because the butt's locked in at the back, you cannot move it very much.
No, not at all.
So you are set at where you're going to hit the animal. Yeah.
Well, that's it, yeah. So anyway, did that and shot 3 springbuck that afternoon. Was a lot happier, a lot more confident in the rifle. And basically, obviously, did that hunt, called it a day. I don't know how many springbuck we'd shot. We must have shot like nearly 30 odd springbuck in that first day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was one of those. Ended on a good note. So
yes,
the confidence was back. The happy with the rifle shooting. Got another day of hunting to do. So was quite chuffed. I still had quite a big list of springbuck to shoot.
Yeah.
So I was hoping to shoot a lot more. And then we ended up hunting the next day. And also first shot brilliant. Second shot I missed.
Yeah.
And then the springbuck just vanished. In such a huge camp like that, we had like 8 of us plus a crew of another 5 guys in the camp.
Yeah.
Like you say, you don't realize how big those areas are.
So the farmer was explaining to us some of the areas that we were hunting in were between 400 and 600 hectare.
That one
seemed
like 1,000 hectares.
That place was huge. But 400 and 600 hectares, guys, for you guys is 800 to 1,000 acres, an area where we're trying to push these springbuck around and trying to thin them out. And often you can be set up in a place where they come around once or twice and then it just becomes a dead zone.
And I was in a dead zone.
Yeah. My place was the shots were far. That's where I made my mistake. I tried to take a springbuck on at 380.
You start pushing the envelope.
And I dropped it low below the front leg and took the front leg out. And unfortunately never got that springbuck because somewhere in our whole thing, someone else had shot the springbuck in the same place, and then when they shot one, they thought it was mine. Meanwhile, it was his.
So
then it got lost.
Like little things. So we also, a lot of us hunt, when we hunt in our groups, we've all generally got 2-way radios for comms. But because the group was so big, so it's the same thing. We've got our own channels and stuff like that. The farmers have got their own. So Nick always has his beaters or his guys that drive the game around. They have got radios and he's got contact with them.
Yes.
So generally, if we can get onto his channel, it's so much easier. Then we've all got an idea of who's what, where and how.
Yeah.
When it comes to animals like that. But because our group was so big, we only had so many radios. So our group of 8 had the 8. So we had comms with each other, but no one else that was hunting in that party that day, the other 6 guns or 5 guns that were there, didn't know what was happening on our side.
Yeah.
So they were talking amongst each other. Then we were trying to relay via staff for animals and whatever.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, where obviously you drop the ball, something goes missing, It's unforeseen. And then also the area there too wasn't as open as the previous two places.
There was quite a bit of thorn
trees. You know, so you're shooting gaps, shooting areas, so you lose sight as well a lot quicker than what we were in the other areas where you could actually watch the springbuck go for 2Ks.
It runs miles away from you.
You know which direction it's running, and you call the person on the radio
in
say,
that direction.
Look, my group of springbucks come towards you. There's one there. I've hit it in the jaw, or look for a mark on its shoulder. But please shoot that one first before you shoot another one. You know, and that obviously just because the area was so big, the number of us in that area. You know, I was in an area, springbuck came down past me, and there must have been at least 200 in the group.
Yeah.
Came past, they literally stood in my shooting area. I shot one. They moved to the edge of my shooting area, rushed my shot, missed them, never saw them again.
Yeah.
And when I saw them, they were miles away from me. I was watching everybody else and hearing everybody else having a jaw, and I stood there for the whole morning. Got moved. They came and picked me up, tried to move me to an area
where they were running.
Dropped me in a perfect spot. Springbuck came past me at 20 meters, but 5 meters out of my shooting range.
Yeah.
I could have been the naughty oak and shot a springbuck at 20 meters from me and hoped the bullet didn't go in the wrong direction.
Someone else's direction, yeah.
I let them go past me. They walked right past, and even I was standing there.
Yeah, so talking about bullets and stuff like that, guys, if you go watch the video, I point out in the videos that I took of the springbuck that I shot at how crazy a bullet deviates. Because there are two specific videos that I've got there where I shot a springbuck at about 200, 210 in the head. And I hit him between the eyes, and the bullet deviated left. It went right through by at least 5 meters.
Yeah, and it skips across the ground.
And then the next one I shoot. No, the next one was I shot on.
One?
That's the one I shot on the shoulder. Also, I shot square. Obviously, the camera angle looks a little different to what I was shooting, but I shot it square on the shoulder. The bullet goes right through it, and it skips along the ground. So, just bear in mind when you're shooting that when bullets pass through, they don't just pass through straight. They do deviate. And we're shooting small animals. Those are small, light animals. And you'd expect them to just go straight, the bullet. But it does.
No,
it can. A little bit of bone makes a massive difference.
And I think also with bullets that are running at speed, you know, they are gonna be manipulated by something. Yeah. You know, in that sense. Well, that's just what I think.
Yeah, so it's crazy. So, like I say, safety is first. Stay in your zone. Make sure that you got
that's how
a backdrop.
We wound up that we finished at lunchtime. It was actually at Nick's brother's place.
Yeah.
We had the other guys are extremely good. I mean, a couple of oaks had shot another 4 or 5 more than what they. I think they were just enjoying having the luck, you know, coming past. So I think we ended up nearly on 60 springbuck for the trip.
I couldn't quite remember how many we'd shot.
It was 58 or something. It was about. We shot the same number the year before.
Okay.
I think there was 1 or 2 in the difference. Like I said, I was hoping to shoot probably the 10 more than what I went home with.
Yeah.
But also Nick's son was on the hunt, so I bought his springbucks. Nick was quite happy that I went with those. He didn't have to work springbuck
meat.
so I took those. So that does help my little business on the sideline to try and save up for the next hunt. I will obviously shoot, process, sell. Hunt, work, repeat. That's basically what I do with through my season. Because our season's pretty much 3 months of the year. I try and do 2 hunts a month, at least get 6 hunts in. And obviously it's like every 2 weeks that you going out.
Yeah.
And it generally works well. But when you have those dead hunts
where you don't shoot anything,
the gaps get quite big, and then I start buying animals to be able to fund obviously my little meat business on the sideline, and obviously the clients that are wanting meat.
Well, how's that gone this year? You know, from starting to now, how much meat actually have you processed? Even though you had a couple of dead zones, you have bought quite a bit.
Sure.
As you are a one-man band and doing this all.
So one-man band, friends do come and help. I've got one good friend that always is willing to
For a few beers.
Deep dive in for some beer and good conversation.
Yeah.
I'm sure. He's the one that swears the most because he cuts away his fingers. But
Too many beers.
yeah, so no, gone well. Look, I mean, I do a lot. I probably could have processed a bit more if, with luck being. But I think this season alone, if I go on the kgs of meat that I have processed, probably looking at about 2,000 kgs of meat that I've processed already in 3 months,
and moved,
and moved and sold and got through. Just also buying in meat.
Kudu, and
So obviously after the springbuck hunt, the springbuck that I went home with was about 18 springbuck in total. It was 18.
Yeah.
I think the weights came in at about just over 300 kilos for the 18 springbuck.
Yeah.
That's a week of processing into all the cuts that I sell. Biltong, dried sausage, the name it. And that 2 weeks later, that meat's gone.
Yes, so 2 weeks later, you had that sold out.
Eventually I went in, and because I didn't have a hunt I had a hunt, and then I before the hunt I went and bought in meat. I bought in 2 kudus, a warthog, and whatever from a farm that an outfitter had gone to go and hunt it.
Yeah.
That meat I processed, and that was 2-3 weeks ago. That meat is
also done.
all gone. So
your meat business is doing well. You got some solid clients there.
It does really well. So
it funds the hunt.
It funds the hunting. So it's just a bit of a bummer. August was like a no hunt zone. My last hunt I actually went on was the springbuck hunt.
Yeah.
And then it was just busy, and had a hunt booked. Got sick, and it was also trying to organize guys to go with
to fill it.
So like when I go to my cousin's place, I supply the staff that help us skin and carry animals out. So it was also one of those guys were too busy to come with, and it was like to go and do the outlay
and
for just myself to go
Mm.
and shoot three or four pigs and maybe a kudu. It was a bit of an expense. If we're going to go there and we shoot like 10 warthogs and whatever, then at least it makes it viable, because obviously I also look at it as a monetary thing. What am I outlaying and what am I getting back? So I kind of postponed that hunt, and then unfortunately the end of the season, the last hunt of the season, was already, there was a double book or was booked up that I couldn't do the last weekend, which I normally do at my cousin's place. Yeah. But it was anyway, needless to say, that's how the season's gone. And now I'm sitting here with Wayne now
talking shit,
talking to you guys, and now I managed to secure a buff hunt that we're gonna do. So
so I've got the privilege of guiding my brother. I don't know if it's a good idea or bad idea, but I'm taking him on his first ever buff hunt.
That's it, Jay.
Yeah, and
we've done many things, but not buff.
So super excited for this one. We're sitting here. We should be sleeping because we should be getting up, but we're sitting and talking to you guys on the podcast, and we're excited. He's got old Nick coming as a friend. He's going to join us tomorrow afternoon, and he's also after buff, so I get to guide him, and he's bringing his son with. So super excited, just being in the right place at the right time, chatting to the right people, and
trying to we all hunters, and we all look for the next kick
adventure.
And the next adventure and the next species.
Yeah.
So it's been on my bucket list for quite a while, and obviously because of the expense of them, it's almost like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. Save up for it. And managed to find someone that would give us a good deal. So I took it with both hands and said, well, that's where my meat business comes from.
Yeah.
Work hard through season, make the
so
money
you can
back,
do this.
and to be able to do this buff hunt. So that is quite cool on that side of the of the coin, basically.
And the awesome part about it, it's right on our doorstep.
That's it.
You would have never thought that. So guys, we're hunting in one of the hunting areas that are hunting. I haven't hunted a buff there before with clients. I've hunted Nyala and Blue Wildebeest and all the other plains game stuff there. It's literally my neighbor's property. We're going there to go and experience this. They've got some buff, but there's a trick to these buff. They are not easy. They live in the thick stuff. and they don't come out. So if we play our cards right, we're going to hopefully find them on the edge of the bush line in the thick stuff. It looks like we've got a bit of overcast weather tomorrow.
That's going to help us.
And I think that might help us and might keep them moving a little longer. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very up close and personal. The way buff hunting's supposed to be. Smell it before you see it. And yes, we'll see who's got their big boy pants on tomorrow.
Oh, we have our wits about us. That's the one thing.
Yeah,
So.
and go and have an epic adventure together. Another one to tick off the bucket list.
Another one. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll cross fingers and toes, and hopefully it all pans out.
So at least we've got a few days to do this. It's Wednesday now, so we've got Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to try and get it out the bag. You might do injury time Sunday, but hopefully we have it done before then, because we still want to do a bit more hunting of either.
Well, Nick's here and he's brought his son to do a little bit of
in.
hunting, so we want to try and capitalize on Anyala and
we're going to
maybe
hit
some
the
bush
bush
pig
pig
blinds,
blinds,
something new for them.
Some different experiences, and then maybe like bushbuck and stuff like that. It's probably going to be my last hunt for the season.
Yeah.
I know we might have a cull hunt coming up where we can fill our freezers and
for
the last
hopefully,
stretch.
Hopefully next month we'll do a cull impala hunt.
Yeah.
Because also coming to the end of the season when obviously things start kidding and lambing and stuff like that. I might do 1 or 2 warthog hunts to
fill the freezer to keep some meat ticking
try and
over.
keep some meat to try and push it into December. So that'll be me. But generally everything else is on the wind down.
It's winding down. So we're super lucky, guys. We got a lot of species here in South Africa that we can hunt throughout the year, like warthogs and bush pigs and impala and springbuck that don't have a season. Blessbuck. If you find a farmer that has them on their property, they are huntable, obviously depending on the farmer's quota. So we can have eat venison all year round. We don't have to go shoot the freezer full and try and save as much as possible so that we don't run out throughout the year. We can find a farmer who will
want to
let you hunt, or he needs a bit of bucks in his pocket. Normally all farmers need bucks in their pocket. So if you find the nice farmer, he'll keep you on his list. As long as you don't go shoot his trophies that he keeps for the clients.
No, very true.
So we actually, like I said, this is going to be an awesome hunt.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Something different.
Yeah, something different. And fingers crossed the buff play ball. And we get an opportunity. Ryan's actually after, we've been lucky enough that they've allowed him to shoot a buff bull. So we're going to be looking for an old gnarly bull. Preferably one with big helmet on his head.
And short horns.
And if he's got broken off horns, even better.
Even better.
But the cows on the card. So if we don't come right, we'll probably shoot a cow. But it's still a buff, guys, and it still gives you the same adrenaline, same hunt. And I think Nick's after a cow. So it's going to be, it'll be awesome if we whack out 2 buff.
Yeah, it will be a good.
It'll be a very good weekend. So we're looking forward to this. And for you guys that are still following Zwa's story, please, guys, we are almost at that finish line. We're just short on funds to finish up the setup of his leg. So please hit the link in the bio. I'll put the Backer Buddy link in the bio, and make sure you either share it. If you have the means to donate, please donate. He's one hell of a tracker, and he's hunting with us this week. He's here. Man's still going around in his crutches. We've taken him for his assessments with the doctor. We got one more assessment on his leg this next week. We actually postponed it because it was supposed to be tomorrow, but we're hunting buffalo. So the doctor says, no, it's cool. He'll check us on the Monday or the Tuesday.
Oh, awesome.
And it's his last assessment. Hopefully his leg has settled and it stayed the same size, because we had to bandage it because his amputee has been more than 10 years. They needed to put a compression bandage on it to see if it shrinks to its natural size before they cast it. So if it hasn't shrunk by next week, it's at its size. And we can cast it, and then the process is super quick. It's going to be a matter of I would say a week, and his leg should be ready for him to fit. But we are short of funds, so please head on there, hit the Back a Buddy link, and donate anything that you can afford. And if you can't afford anything, please share it with your other hunting buddies. It's definitely an awesome cause to jump onto. So guys, there's not much more from me. Stay tuned and see what's coming up after this. Hopefully I have a video to put together for you guys with some buff
We'll see.
or some crazy stories. But if you're liking these, hit the like and subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell. Give us a thumbs up. And we'll check you in the next one. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.